Hi everyone, welcome to PM102 Introduction to Computing. Now this week we are going to do quite a lot of stuff, so I need you to follow my instructions carefully. I will try to actually go as slow as possible. Hopefully the recording is quite a good quality so you can actually follow and listen to my instructions quite well, or you can hear the instructions quite well. If you can't get to my website, please check your spelling. It's at the top here. You need to type in exactly like it is on the screen at the top. You do not need to put www dot. You just type in directly onto the address bar. You don't even need the HTTP address bar, introduction to computing.weebly.com, and if you press enter it will take you to the website. And I've changed the website slightly. I have removed loads of links from the homepage and put them in the relevant places. So if you look around, you will get very quickly very familiar with it. So scrolling down, now whenever you are on my website, please make sure that Dropbox is open on another tab. If you click on it, okay, notice, okay, here we go. We have the Dropbox is actually opening itself up, and I mentioned this is the area that I share work with you. So Introduction to Computing, if you go onto that folder, okay, open, and clearly you need to be on week 2 because this week we are going to do week 2 material. Okay, double click on week 2 and you will find there are 3 documents that I put there to work this week, for you to work this week. So what you can do before we start doing anything else, you will download these documents, and remember, okay, I told you you must download them in a specific location. Okay, I hope you can remember that location. It's the U drive, as you guessed. Okay, click on the document and then wait for the prompt and then go to download and direct download option at the top. And as soon as you've done that, you will see, okay, I have a zone alarm thing coming up. In your screen you will see a bar here at the bottom. You say save, okay, and hopefully it will give me the same options. My screen is slightly different than your one. Okay, I try to make it as similar as possible, but I can't do it all the time because university system is slightly different. I am going to save this on my documents, but you should be saving it in some place called U Drive, and hopefully if you've done the folder, there should be a folder here called PM102 folder. Alternatively, you can call that computing folder. You save the report structure in there. And while you're at the Dropbox, okay, the advanced is determine the file is safe. Okay, file download complete. Do you want to open this file? Not right now, but I will be opening it in a moment. Go back and download the rest of the files. I will do them, or try to do them a little bit quicker. Mail merge, I am now downloading the Excel, which we're going to work. Okay, here we are, and I will put it in the same location. Make sure it's in the same location, and in your case you're going to click on your computer and find your C drive, U drive. In my case it's my C drive, the documents. Okay, save the mail merge. I don't want to open it right now, and then go back and save the last document that we are going to work with today, and download and direct download, and simply, okay, save, here we are, and then save it in the same location. Right, now I've got all the documents saved in a folder that I know where it is. Okay, going back to my work area here, okay, you now know how to work from Dropbox. Now if you click on the link, as I mentioned last week, if you wanted to do something, you need to be on this week, and there are other things here. I'm not going to go over it right now, but you will notice the difference is I put last week material, or I will be putting it in week 1. So click on this week. Okay, let's see what's available, and if you scroll down, okay, first of all you see the title, the header, week 2, and my picture, learning objectives, and several video help files if you scroll all the way down. So first of all, before we go down, we need to check the learning objectives. The learning objectives that you expects you to do something, it starts from MS Office and Google Docs, okay, structuring reports, table of contents, citation, page margins, shortcut keys, track changes and comments, and mail merge. I will also add another task to this as creating an online website. Okay, the ones above here actually relates to actual understanding or knowledge. For example, can you describe the purpose of computer software? And I have actually put videos here for you to gain that knowledge. It explains cloud computing, for example, what does it mean, and you can watch these videos on your own time and get a very good understanding of these technologies. Previous lesson last week I mentioned also enabling your cloud storage area. This video covers that. So if you haven't actually enabled your cloud storage, this means you need to create a Google Drive account or a Hotmail account or SkyDrive, or in fact as simple as Dropbox. Dropbox will do it. That you should be doing those accounts in order to keep your work in this module safe. Okay, so going back to what we're supposed to do today. Okay, I will try to fit that in the next 5 minutes, because I have a maximum recording time of 15 minutes with this software that I'm using at the moment. So the first thing that we meant to do is create first of all, structuring a report. Okay, remember the document that I've actually downloaded in my PM102 folder, and you need to be going right now to your U Drive PM102 folder. Okay, open the folder and you will see the document, report structure document. If you open that document, you'll notice, okay, here we go, it's coming up. Okay, you'll notice there's a yellow bar at the top. You have to enable editing first before you can do anything to this document. Enable editing, and then notice the yellow bar will go away, and then I will have access to my shortcuts or the shortcut menus at the top here. So if you have a brief look at it, it tells you it's like just the way that we want your report to be. And I mentioned last week, in this module you're expected to do one formal report and one presentation, and right now I'm giving you how to write the report, and I don't know the topic yet, but right now this is about creating the report structure. So the first item that I would like to see is the title page, and notice it gives you a little bit of an explanation here. Later on I can delete them, but right now I will keep them in its place to give me guidance. So if I go to the end of the area here, alright, and I could simply say insert page break just to push that document. Okay, notice, okay, what happened? I've actually left the title page by itself. Clearly that's my title page now, and then everything else pushed itself further down. But before I go to that step, I think it's easier, and you will understand why, to do these simple steps for something that I will explain in a moment. But in the meantime, what you could do, you could just select each item that is in bold, in other words each title, and set them as, from the home tab here, as heading 1. Okay, so select as heading 1. Okay, okay, heading 1. Now I've actually set them up correctly, I could use the table of contents tool to insert a table of contents where it's appropriate. But before I do that, I will push them down in their separate pages so my document looks more like in the report structure. Okay, so what I do, I go to insert, I clicked on the end here after the title page, insert a page break. What is it doing? Okay, if I zoom out, here we go, it's pushing each of the titles down a page. So executive summary is the next page. End of that page, I am going to insert another page break. Okay, and then end of the table of contents, I will insert another, so on and so forth until I get each item into a separate page. In fact, I don't need the introduction in a separate page, it can stay as it is. This is entirely up to you how you structure it there, but just to make it obvious, I'm pushing them down so you can see. Okay, here we are, and then I want the conclusion in that page, but I'm pushing down the other headers into their places, and then here we go, this one as well, and that was the last one. Now, how is this useful? Right now I do have about 8 pages document here, and if I go to my actual contents page, because I've set these titles, contents like each title in as heading 1 from the home tab, I can now generate a table of contents page right here. Now when I'm ready, I am going to delete the instructions and simply make a space and go to references and insert table of contents. You can choose either one, they're both creating similar automatic tables. I'm going to select the second one, and notice my table of content page is generated and with the correct page numbers. But remember, this is a dynamic link. What that means is, if I, for example, here I was writing a new topic, let's say the results, and I want to make that and also appear in my contents page, and let's say the results were it was in a different page, push that down. All I have to do is select it and go back to home tab and simply click on heading. Notice the color is changed. I can be consistent by making that capital and scroll back up. You'll notice that is not here. The reason it's not here because I haven't updated the table. Click on the table and simply go on update and say update the entire table, and when you say OK, notice the results are actually added on. And assume that I wanted to have here a subtitle. For example, I would like to have results from Greenwich, Greenwich campus. I need to add another E there, and then I would like to have another, say that another results from London Bridge, London Bridge. And clearly these ones are subtitles. I don't want these titles to appear inside just like the other ones. I want them to be subtitle under the results. So what do? I need to select them both. I can select them like this and click on heading 2. Notice they are slightly changed in color, and if you can even push them in a little bit if you like, and make spaces and scroll back up. You guessed, it's the same procedure. You just need to go to contents page, here we are, click on contents and update the table. Notice my Greenwich and London Bridge is indented. In other words, they are appearing as subtopics underneath the results topic. That's it for now, and that covers the table of contents for your reports. Good luck with this. It shouldn't take you long, and you can use this for your other assignments. One thing you need to add on to this is insert header, footer, and the relevant information such as page numbers, and you can do that very quickly. For example, here page numbers, and you can add your name, your ID number, the assignment title, so on and so forth. Okay.